Myself and three other senators are releasing a statement as we speak, and this statement will say that we cannot support the current bill. We're open to negotiation, but we want the bill to look more like a repeal. We're afraid that when we read the bill, that it actually looks like a reiteration or a keeping of Obamacare. As we estimate the costs of the subsidies to buy insurance, we actually believe that they may exceed or at least equal the subsidies that are in Obamacare. As we look at the expense of the bill, we actually believe in the first year or two that it may well cost more than Obamacare. And as we look at some of the things like a brand new federal program to pay insurance companies, a stabilization fund, we think that the idea that we're going to allow the death spiral of Obamacare to continue, but we're going to subsidize it, is just not a very Republican notion. I'm open to voting for it, but I think with a group of people, we have a little better chance of actually getting it modified.
So right now you're a no vote?
The four of us have said we cannot support the bill in its current iteration.
And tell us who the rest of this group is.
This group will be Senators Cruz, Senator Lee, and Senator Johnson, and myself.
And together that's enough to take down this bill?
The intention is not to take down the bill. The intention is to make the bill better. And I believe the leverage and the count of four people is enough that hopefully those who read the bill will say, we want some or all of their votes, and therefore we'll try to make the bill look more like a repeal bill and less like a reiteration of Obamacare bill.
But Senator, if you're on the floor, the choice could be this or Obamacare. Are you willing to let the country be under Obamacare and let this bill fail if that's the choice?
I don't think there's anybody in America that's more against Obamacare than myself. As a physician, I've seen the ravages of it. I've traveled to 42 states running on repeal of Obamacare. I just didn't run on Obamacare Light. I didn't run on replacing it with more government programs. I didn't run on allowing the death spiral of Obamacare to continue just to subsidize it with taxpayer money. Look, we're $500 billion in debt right now. There is no money to keep subsidizing insurance. There is no money to expand Medicaid unless you want to raise taxes. We're actually cutting taxes. So you have to be honest with people, and it has to be paid for. So if we're not going to pay for it, and we're going to keep a lot of the stuff that was in Obamacare, I think we can do better than this. And my hope is not to defeat the bill, but to make the bill better.
What if Senator McConnell bring down the bill? What if you lose?
No, I think what will happen, and the reason we're coming out now is that now the discussion begins. But if the people that are in favor of the current bill know that there's not 50 votes for it, perhaps the discussion will begin in earnest to make the bill better.
Senator, do you have enough time to create an amendment that changes to fix it the way you want?
Yeah, we were supposedly given a draft. This is supposedly a draft form. And at our meeting this morning, everyone said that they were still open to changes. But I think you only get changes if you show you have the power to, not vote for the current bill. And that's kind of where we are now.
Senator, is next week realistic for a vote? Is next week realistic for a vote?
It seems like a short time. I've been in favor of reading the bills before we pass them. It's on my desk, but I haven't gotten started yet. I will read it. But I have legislation that says you should wait 1 day for every 20 pages. So that'd be about at least 6 or 7 working days just for this bill. And that, I think, would be a minimum. Not only do we need to read it, now I think we also need to negotiate over what's good, what's bad, and what we can get in the bill to make it better. So, yeah, I think it could take longer than a week.
Based on what you've heard so far, how willing do you think Leader McConnell is to negotiate the kind of changes, we're talking big changes, that you and the other senators want?
Well, you have to get to 50 votes. And if you've only got 48, I think that means you're going to need to negotiate.
Senator Paul, if there's no hearing, will you refuse to vote on the bill?
There's no what?
If there's no hearing, will you refuse to vote on the bill?
No hearing.
Are you no public hearing? Will you refuse to
Well, no, I was in favor of having committee approach to it, but that is not a do or die on whether I'll vote for the bill. I'm going to vote for the bill and the contents of the bill. No, we're a no on the bill currently.
What do you think about the way that Senator McConnell tried to cut this deal behind closed doors with only the members, without no hearings, having a vote within a week? What do you think about the process?
My preference was always for a committee hearing, but absent that, I'm very concerned about the content. To my mind, the most important thing is we promised to repeal Obamacare. The current bill looks like we're keeping large parts of Obamacare. In fact, one of the architects, Jonathan Gruber, has come out and saying, hooray, it looks like they're not really repealing Obamacare, and I think he's probably accurate. We're keeping the subsidies. We're boosting the subsidies for stabilization or risk pools, and I think it looks a lot like Obamacare, actually.
Thanks, guys. We got to run. We got to go vote. Excuse us, folks.